Today on the show, we talk with Cindy Dunn, who's been the feature of our latest episodes when she bought and sold a home.
And we're going to also discuss the challenges of sharing a closet with your 8-year-old son.
Hey everybody, I'm Matt Ingram.
And I'm Allie Blom.
And we are realtors with the Ingram Group at Keller Williams, and welcome to our podcast.
Today on our show, we have a visitor. We have Cindy Dunn, who recently bought and sold in the area, and we're going to just sit and chat with her a little bit and talk about, the things that went good and things that went bad, and just get an insider's look.
Absolutely, and some of you may be familiar with her. She's my sister-in-law, and she's also been really the focus of a lot of Facebook videos that we put out here recently, documenting this whole process, if you will, too. So say hello to everybody.
Hey guys, how y'all doing?
So happy to have you here.
She's from the South, right?
Yes, definitely. You can
picked
tell.
up on that.
Yes.
But we're happy to have you. I think last week, we talked a lot about some things with Allison and some things that are going on with her recent purchase, and exciting to get a different perspective of how things have gone for you. But first off, getting back to Allie, it's been a crazy week for you, right?
It's just a tad. Yeah, we're coming up on the tail end of still moving everything in, figuring out where everything is, and it's spring break, so kids are home.
More importantly, I think that's what's been crazy, right? Spring break.
It's crazy. I'm not really sure the need for it, because they're home all day and all they want to do is eat, and they always want to go somewhere, and, there's nowhere to go because I still have to work.
I know. It has a whole different meaning than it meant, 20 years ago, right? Spring break we used to be excited for. Now it's like, ugh.
Well, I see their excitement, which I love.
That's true.
They play baseball in the backyard all day long, but the eating with 3 boys is a little excessive, and the grocery bill is a little bit more. They don't eat all day long at school, so I get really confused as to why they need to eat all day long
at your house.
at the house. Bacon, lots of bacon.
What is it with the bacon?
My oldest is so skinny, and if he wants bacon, I feel like I need to make it because he won't eat anything else. So, but making bacon is, it's a little much all day long. Anyway.
Well, ours is coming up next week, so my kids.
Good luck for that.
Yeah, so we're next week, but we're actually taking them to my dad's, and then Jen and I are hitting the road.
Oh,
so
that's nice.
It'll be a little bit easier there.
I wouldn't even tell anybody where you're going. Just have a secret.
Yeah.
Just
Nobody,
go away.
Nobody bothers you.
Yeah.
Just kind of get
Exactly.
away.
Escape.
Yeah.
We're due.
You are.
We've been lucky because we have after school, like where she goes after school, they have a spring break camp. So we haven't had to, we just take them just like a regular school day and pick them up so we can still get our stuff done during the day.
Makes it a lot easier.
You might need to look into
I was
that.
going to say, because anytime I mention the word camp, one of them has a panic attack. So we're going to just skip the word camp. Maybe we'll call it an activity center or something. Yeah.
Sounds good.
They went to the park yesterday.
See?
Yeah, they had a great time.
I'm going to see if I can get them on board.
I know, you need to.
Yeah. So cool. And you've had a lot going on, even though Autumn has been out at this camp for spring break. So you haven't been dealing with what Allie has.
No, yes.
You've got your own.
I've had my own. Obviously, I like to do renovations. So as soon as we got done with the house, that we'll talk about later, but I went right into renovating my salon. So that's what I've been up to all week. We shut down the salon for about 5 days. Yeah. So every day I go up there, make sure everything is on schedule because we reopen tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. And I have to make sure the salon is ready to go for all our stylists and their clients. Yeah. So it's been a very hectic. It has not been a spring break for me, at all. I don't even know what spring break is.
No. Maybe we'll just go away next week then. Sounds good.
Yeah.
I like that.
Y'all are due too.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yes. Taking some time off.
Yeah, so Cindy, as you sort of maybe picked up on, she owns her own salon in Kernersville. And I feel like you're always doing something. I think you get it honest.
I do get honest. I get it from my mom. She definitely always has a project, so I definitely get it 100% honest. I don't know. I just do better when I'm on 150%. Downtime to me is, I don't know. I just don't know what downtime is. So I just like to keep going. It keeps me, I don't know, just keeps me focused and I don't know. I just enjoy, I feel like I have a creative mind. So I feel like in my mind, I can see something, and I love to see from start to finish. what I can make in my mind come true. And I feel like I'm a very driven person, so I feel like that's just one of my things that I
Like
have.
we're on an interview right now.
So I don't know. I know it is.
Like I'm creative, I'm
Will we
driven.
hire her?
I don't know.
Let's just
Yeah,
see.
let's see, because we are hiring.
Where do you
right?
see
So-
yourself?
I know.
In 5 years.
In 5 years, behind a salon chair in 5
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
Doing my hair.
Doing your hair, yes.
Thanks.
But no, I really enjoy it. Like, I don't know, it's very stressful. It's not like it's something easy, but like I said, like, I just love to see that start to finish. Like, that's so satisfying for me. So, I don't know, but after this, like, I feel like I want to take a few months off and not have any projects.
I think your dad said he's ready for you to have no projects either, right?
I think I heard that as well.
Yeah.
Thankfully for my dad, I wouldn't have much, but yeah, Dad's definitely ready to take a little time out for sure. He's tired.
He has enough work in his own business to come over and
Yeah, he does.
Then
But
have to
he's
do
a
that.
great dad,
yeah.
and I have a
Yeah.
lot of support, so
Absolutely.
it makes it possible for me to have what I have. So
Yeah.
that's great.
Well, everything looks great so far, and I think really everything looks awesome at your house, right? And so, yeah, we've obviously seen the final project of everything. We're continuing to release these episodes, and so everyone will see it for themselves online. But we're really excited just to get in your head a little bit and talk about your situation, why you decided to move, and what you got out of this whole process. So take us through that decision where you're like, hey, it's time for us to look at making a move.
Well, for me, it's been going on for like I think the past 3 years. Like needing more space. Like even before Mia was born, it was still a little tight, but it still worked. It was a great starter home. We've been in it for 6 years prior to moving, and then so especially when Mia was born, just the flex space, stuff everywhere. We only had one full bathroom, so that was definitely. I was like, when they get older, I was like, I don't want to share a bathroom with my girls. Like
Teenage girls.
Yeah, teenage girls
That's a
in
lot.
one bathroom. Like for me, that's just not gonna work. So luckily, like we just kind of hit the ground running. Our biggest thing was, do we want to build or do we want to buy something new or like renovate something? So that was the ongoing issue for at least 2 to 3 years. Like,
But at
it's-
one point, though, too, it was, do you want to renovate your house? Remember that whole
Yes,
discussion?
yes.
I remember
That
that.
was
It was
about
like,
a year
Should,
of
should
our
we
life.
go in and, like, renovate this, add on here, do that?
Yes.
And
It was
close
a-
the carport.
Oh, yeah.
I
Yeah,
remember
like
were
we had a
going
carport, and I was gonna close that in. I was gonna add on the back. Like I said, my mind does not stop like at all. So I kind of keep thinking of ideas like, what can I do? What can I do? How can I make it better? I love organization. Like I love to kind of try to plan that out. But in the end, you definitely don't want to go into a home and outprice your neighborhood. And if I would have put in the money that would have needed to be done to our house, it would have just definitely outpriced it, and we never could have got our money back out of it. So then, therefore, that's when we decided, like, okay, now we need to look at building or buying. Either it was buying new or buying something to renovate.
And I think the new stuff, too, we talked a lot about that, and you wanted to go the custom route.
Yes, I didn't want too much of. I didn't want to be in a neighborhood. I did want some land, not like a lot. Like originally, like I would love an acre. Like I mean, I like to have some space. I was born and raised on, with family all around and all that kind of stuff. So I definitely am used to having some land, but I just didn't want to have like houses right next to us. So that was a big thing on all the new construction now. The homes are great and they have tons of upgrades and fixtures and stuff, but it's just the land property on those just didn't fit our need. So then that's when it was either custom or it was buy and renovate,
Yeah.
kind of.
And that gets a little expensive too. Like if you get both, I think a lot of people don't really understand that. If you want the land and you want the new, like that price point gets up there pretty quick.
So super quick, more than people kind of really understand. Like I think going into it, I mean, land right now, especially just buying like a nice piece of property, like that is, up there as well. And then you got to, build, and then you have all your fixtures, and everybody has a set price. And I knew me and Rob, and I knew that budget probably would have been overseeded, and we had a strict budget that we needed to stick to. So I think in the end, y'all helped us find a perfect property for us.
Yeah.
So.
No, I think so, too. And so talk to us a little bit about, so you decided, hey, it's time. because the pain point was really you needed more space.
Yes.
And then we knew that it was either going to be building custom, but that's pretty tough, trying to find a piece of land that works out really well, or either going with something that was existing and making your own. So talk to us a little bit about how we got to the home that you're in now. Like, how did that process go?
Well, I mean, I know once we decided not to build, like that was like once we decided, okay, like that's just off the table and we're not going to do that. Then, we met and we kind of, you knew our criteria was in a very close area. I want to still say in the same district that Autumn went to school, and I want to be close to my parents and our family and everything else. So I didn't really want to move. So that kind of hurt. We looked at a few houses. The market's super hot. So as soon as we looked at something, I mean, we had, things were kind of flying off the shelf. So we kind of had to be prepared to go into that. So I think it was just for you, like just finding us like that home that we could make our own.
Yeah.
Once we decided not to build, I think that was like our biggest thing.
Yeah, we went through a lot, and two of them you really loved, and we put offers in.
Yeah, we did.
And didn't work out.
But
that's just the way it is.
But it worked out.
Yeah, but it worked out
But it did work out in the end. I
Yeah.
honestly think like one house, my husband, he loved. Like he was very disappointed. But to me, it was like, I was like, okay, like I liked it and everything. I didn't really like the area as much, but the house was great. The second one I loved more, but he was like, he liked it, but it wasn't okay. But then I think everything really happens for a reason. I know everybody says that, but I think it really does, because therefore, if we didn't get those in this house, and we both really like this house. Now, did it check all the boxes? No, because when you're buying something, it never checks all the boxes. Mm-hmm. But it did have at least 90% of it checked. So for us, the area, the space, the location, I mean the bedrooms and all that, it definitely hit the mark. And so therefore you were on it. You wrote the offer, and
we had to jump on it.
Yeah, we jumped on it right away, and luckily that's the house that we got.
Yeah, I think one thing for you is something that Allie and I talk a lot about with clients when they're starting to get to that point where they're really serious. Right?
Yeah.
Like you were wanting to move for 3 years, but then it got to a point where it was like, okay, this is getting real.
Yeah.
And so I feel like one of the things that helped out is you were super prepared, because you lived in a home that you had to sell at some point, and we had to figure that out. And then you went in and you went and talked to the lender, got pre-approval, but more so I think we found out in talking to the lender that you actually didn't even have to sell to buy. Right?
Yeah, so
which put a lot of pressure off of your situation as well.
Yes. So I mean, we didn't have to, and that was the best benefit for us. But it's still, as a buyer, having a mortgage on one house and then putting it on another, like it was definitely stressful, going through the process and everything like that. But I felt like our house would sell pretty quick. But that's why I was so determined on, you came through and you told us what we need to do to sell our house. So I feel like having all that prepared, you're pretty good about putting it on the market and like trying to get that sold for us. Mm-hmm. Because I mean, I didn't have to sell, which definitely took some pressure off, because contingencies aren't really that great. Like it's doable, but the market's unless you're Allie.
Yeah.
I don't even know how that worked, but
I mean, but the market's so good and everything moves so fast.
Yeah.
You really have to be on top of your game and ahead of the game, I think, for all that to happen.
Yeah. No, absolutely. You did a little bit about what we talked about last week, right? We talked a lot about sort of when it's that time, going in and starting to prepare and put a plan in place, whether that's talking to a lender, getting that going, but then also too, getting your home ready for any potential buyers, so that when something does come up that you're really interested in, you're able to go in and be ready.
You also hear how she said that it's been going on for about 3 years. So this process isn't usually a very impulsive thing, I mean, in the end, it feels impulsive and it feels fast
because it goes super fast. Like when it goes, it's like,
and this market is
yes.
so fast,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why I want people to understand that it's overwhelming and it's fast. But you don't just wake up one day and say, I'm going to buy a house today. Like, it's something that definitely does have a process to it. You took 3 years to get to be where you are. Some people it's less, some people it's more. People always are dreaming about buying or building or doing something. It's just something everybody talks about and wants to do. So that's where I think it's important that when you first plant that first seed, giving yourself a good timeline, saying, hey, where are we at? I mean, can we even afford this? What do we want to do? Or can we do it in 6 months? Can we do it in a year? Reach out to that lender first, get the big picture, and then move forward. And, once you get that all squared away, then you'll know the next steps to take.
I think one of the first steps we did was, Matt came over and kind of gave us a list of things that we needed to do to help sell our house. So I, got in, especially decluttering, was a big thing. And going through all our stuff, and then we had somebody come in and fix all those little things. So I think that was like one of the things, is that way when we were ready to sell and put on the market, it was like, boom, let's go, let's put on the market. Like I had that kind of already done.
Yeah, and you definitely want to be 100% prepared when you put on the market. Don't say, we'll give an allowance for this, or we'll do that. If someone asks, just do it, because the buyer's going to come in anyway, and they're going to probably nitpick everything in there, and you want to get top dollar. So when Matt and I come in and we give you that long list of things, it seems so overwhelming, but we're just trying to show you that, hey, if you want to get X amount of dollars for this house in this time frame, then this is the best route to go for that.
Yeah, and I think it is overwhelming. I remember when I sent you, I think you guys were on vacation
People
somewhere.
love the list.
And
They're
so
like, whoa.
I walked around with my phone, I was like, taking pictures of stuff, and I was sitting there saying, hey, you need to do this, you need to do that. She was like, what? And she's getting all defensive with me. And she's
they get mad.
I mean, I don't understand. What's wrong with that? I've seen that,
We were in Vegas.
What's wrong with not having a master bathroom?
Yeah.
I don't understand. But we were on vacation, and he was sending me this list, and I was like, oh my gosh, but in the end, it definitely worked. We had multiple offers on our house, and, we got, top dollar for it, and I think it was a great house for somebody else, but.
I did wait till the end of your vacation, right? I think you were at the airport or something.
I don't know. I
didn't
can't
say it in the
remember.
beginning.
It all blurs together sometimes, so I don't really know.
Yeah, I waited. But I do think really in this market that we're in, this was last year when all this took place with you, right? But the market is even stronger than it was back then, right? I mean, you look at it and, prices are up like 4 or 5%, right? Inventory is down about 10, 12%. So there's not as many homes. The prices are higher. So if you're a buyer in this market, you have to really be ready. Like you have to be ready to go and know exactly sort of what your deal breakers are, and then have all your loan stuff set up if you're going to need to get a loan. And then too, if you have to sell, like have that plan in place. And I think that's what helped you, is even though you didn't have to sell to buy, we have been working towards that process.
Yes, I had a plan. I had a start to finish what needed to happen, and I think that definitely helped a whole lot. Yeah. Especially having the lender, like having that set of what we could afford, what we can't afford. Knowing your budget, I think, is big. Don't want to be strapped at the end of the day, and I think having my lender definitely helped me through the whole process as well.
And I think that helps a lot, because people need to understand, most people, if you're getting a loan, at the end of the day, it comes down to the monthly payment.
Yes.
Right? And so getting a good understanding of what's comfortable, and then allowing us to help you work backwards into that, really provides a lot of clarity around the situation. But even more so in your situation, it was like, hey, actually we thought we had to sell to buy, but we don't. So it opens up a lot more opportunity.
Yeah.
So, when we get to the point of, okay, we found the home, like we finally found it. So take us through that whole process. Like, so last week we talked about Allison, and she found a home that was right in the middle of a renovation, right? And she was able to go in, and all the costs are sort of wrapped in.
It was all did what you did.
Yours was like the perfect situation. They were in the middle of the demo, and you got to pick all your finishes, and they just did it. Like
there's no way. Like honestly, I'm so thankful that we had amazing, wonderful painters and vendors and stuff. But if you're trying to live your life in a construction zone, I can't. I don't know how you did it without a kitchen for as long as you did. Like the dust made me crazy for like a week. I was like, I can't.
Well, it might be a little crazy, but it's okay. Like we renovated our first home. So when we bought our first house,
trends.
She likes
like
to
she
live
renovates
in this
everything.
chaos.
Like I
She's
don't care
like,
if it's her
actually, I don't even care.
salon, like how many times, or her house.
I do like a good project. But we renovated our first home to make it what we wanted, and because it was dated, it didn't even have a dishwasher. Our first home.
Whoa.
So let's just go back to
pretty
that.
serious.
Yeah, I know. I'm not living my life without a dishwasher. Anyway, so we put that in, and we updated a few things. So we kind of already been through that once, so we kind of knew what it was like. Luckily, Matt negotiated that we got to stay in our house 2 weeks, I think, past our closing date. So that was great. So that way we got our painter done, we got our floors restained, and then we got our light fixtures done. So those are like 3 main things that you can't live in a house when they're scraping popcorn or refinishing your floors.
Yep.
So that was good that we were able to do that. And then the other really thing is the kitchen. We ran into Christmas and then New Year's, so it was like all the holidays. It kind of like, it just took a little bit longer for that to come in. So we were pretty much without a kitchen for 2 months.
I mean,
Everybody's
I like
never
to
mind.
cook, and I know you
Not
like
so
to
much.
microwave. So just kidding. So I may have died, but
I think you
get
would
it.
have done. But I mean, we had like a toaster oven. We had a
Oh.
microwave.
They had these
So-
long fold-out
We had- yeah,
tables.
we
Like
had
a college hot burner.
Yes, yeah.
I feel like we had something at your house even when it wasn't done.
We were supposed to have a New Year's Eve party, but I don't
Maybe
think
that's
that
what it
went
was.
down.
I don't know, but
No,
I just remember
I
tables
mean,
being
we don't-
everywhere, like these long.
I think
No, that was when
Fold-out
we helped her
stuff.
move.
I don't know.
hold on,
Well,
move.
we didn't. I didn't
jeez.
have. I think it was like in mid-January when everything was complete, something like that.
Probably, yeah.
Because we had the
We had
Super
Super
Bowl.
Bowl
We
party,
had a Super Bowl kind of housewarming party for everybody, so that it was done then. But
So you living through construction,
yeah.
and now how is it?
Oh, it's great. I mean, the space and everything, you know, like what we wanted is there. Like I come home and I really like coming home to the house. Like I love the neighborhood. The girls have some friends next door. It's a really kid-friendly neighborhood, so which is awesome for them because they didn't have that before. So that alone just like speaks volumes. I think they're like, "Can we go play with our friends?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure," you know. So they get on their scooters and they start riding around the cul-de-sac and all that kind of stuff. So that's nice.
Yeah.
That we didn't have before, and then just to have your own space. I mean, it's definitely nice to have that. Now, are we complete? No, like we don't have a picture on the wall. We don't have, you know, the curtains or anything like that. But that can come because obviously I jumped into another project before I was finished.
Yeah,
just
yeah,
with
you
the
didn't have
next one.
time.
I
'Cause you
think
just-
that we do the decorating maybe like when the kids move out. Like I was thinking about that too. I was like, I don't even know what I want to put on the walls
I need
because
they fingerprints and mess it up,
yeah,
and it's
get
like
whacked
oh.
off by a hockey stick or a puck or something. So I might as well just like not even put anything
Just not
up.
do it.
But overall, we are extremely happy about it. I really don't know if we would have done anything different. Besides being like my dream home, like, you know, my dream home would have been probably like a one level, you know, with like a bonus upstairs or something like that. But honestly, like that's like our build home, you know what I mean? But as of building and renovating, like it serves all of our purposes. It's a great house to raise a family in, so I can't complain at all about what we have and what we done to the house.
I think people put a lot of pressure on themselves too, always for the perfect home, and they have something in their mind that it's just like it has to be this, it has to be this, and they almost freeze, and they can't do anything because they think it has to be perfect. And we're going to try as hard as we can to make it perfect for you, but you know the concessions are something that you just have to make over time and make sure that they're not huge deal breakers.
Well, one of the big things I think is everybody always has like their checkbox list, and I said a little bit about that. Is like it hit 90% of it. Yeah, there's some stuff that I really would like that this house didn't have, but all in all, like you can't like you have to prioritize or like what you really want, and you know for your family, like what the benefits are. And as long as I think it can make for a happy home, and you know the things that I didn't get are just wants. They're not needs.
Yes, but we
And that's the
need
thing.
challenges and things throughout our lives. So I mean, you could always move again.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Not right now.
She's done for
Don't
now.
don't talk
keep
to me
us
about
employed.
don't talk to me about moving. I am not.
We're not ready for that? Too
no,
soon?
Too soon.
All right.
Way too soon. No, I don't
Okay.
know. I'm super happy. So I don't see us moving at any time in the
That's
near
good.
future. So
And that's the end result that obviously we want from clients. You know, we want to make sure that we take a lot of time to really listen to your needs and wants. So it's not, I mean, in this market, you can get impulsive and you can get anxious and you get nervous and you can jump on something that in the end you might regret. So that's why it's very important to have a consult with us so we can really hear and we can remind you, hey, remember, I know you're getting anxious, but that house is 40 minutes from where you said you wanted to be. Are you sure we need to look at that? Or, you know, not because we want to ever put something out of your mind, but just because our job is to kind of keep you on that track so you are happy in the end. And you don't move into a house and think, gosh, I don't like this. I want to move again in a year. And then you have to go through all that again.
And then you have to go through all that again. Yeah. I definitely feel like I was very anxious at the end. But I think, like I said, everything worked out, and we definitely got the home that we needed.
Well,
At
that's
one
good.
point, she did go into desperate mode.
Probably.
Even Allie was like,
Desperation.
I would show something to Allie. I was like, look at this. And she's like, Cindy's getting desperate. Cindy's getting
I was
desperate.
like, I can't allow that.
Yeah, this can't happen.
But
Yeah.
that's why we need y'all
Yeah.
as good realtors to tell us. Like, we need somebody to be like, okay, like, that's
Ease up
not
on
what
that.
you wanted. You're going for a stretch. Like, that's not what we need. So we need to back it up just a little bit, and the right house will come along. And that's the biggest thing I will say to everybody is just be a little patient. I mean, I know it's hard, and I am
Yeah.
not
There's
that
not
much
much
of a,
patience there.
not much patience for me, and I'm like the biggest one to say that, but it's the truth. I mean, that right house will come along for you. Either it is a new build or, you know, a renovation or whatever the needs for you would be, but it will come along in time. You just have to kind of hang in there, and because it is such a huge investment. Like, for us, if we had to make a big payment on something that we weren't completely happy with, that would be horrible. Like, knowing that
that's
all
right,
your
yes.
money's going to something that you're not happy with, like, that would be very, very tragic.
Yeah, it would be. And I feel like it really lined up. And I think yours is a perfect story of how things can happen if you're prepared and you're ready.
Mm-hmm.
And, two, being able to structure things like when we went to go put your house under contract and being able to negotiate a rent back, right?
Yeah.
So you were able to stay in your home, like you said earlier, 2 weeks longer. I mean, it allowed you to do a lot of things. Like,
Yes.
those are things that people probably don't know are out there that they can do, and we can negotiate into the contracts to allow you to start either some renovations. Like in your case, I think you did a lot, right? Like some people may not do that much.
Yeah,
but 2 weeks for other people.
We definitely went in and like did a whole lot, but just simple things as changing a countertop or changing light
painting.
fixtures or
Yeah.
painting your house. Like, those are little things that will definitely add a whole lot of value that you don't have to spend a whole lot of money or a lot of time at the beginning. So there's definitely, I mean, there's a full spectrum of things that you can do, like, you know, from something so little, even just changing like all your handles out or your knobs out, like those, that makes such an impact on a kitchen or a bathroom that you don't really realize until you do it. And that's a simple fix.
It
little
really is. I
things.
mean, there's a lot of little things that you can do.
Because, you know, going into the renovation, you know, we have plans to pretty much redo the whole house. We
gut
ran
it.
out of money, and so we had to kind of pick and choose what we wanted. So in our bathroom, I think you'll see on one of the episodes that we just kind of did a little facelift to our bathroom, and it made such a big difference, but we didn't have to gut it or do any major renovations, and we've been happy with it. I mean, little things, you always have these big plans, but sometimes it doesn't work out, and it's okay. You just have to kind of step back and say, okay, like, what can I do now? Like, so I don't get so much in the hole and try to, like, stretch yourself too thin.
Yeah, there's always another year where you'll get a tax return or a bonus or something will happen or you'll get a gift and, you know, save up some money for that project and you'll be able to do it in the long run. But
And then I
got
will
what you
say,
wanted.
sometimes what you think is important right now, it might not be important down the road. It's like, why did I even want to do that? You know, it's, you know, and like our bathroom, like, we really wanted to do something big and grand, but honestly, like, it's fine. Like, it might be a little outdated, but I mean, it's
you
it's
have
not like
to
I have
take
to do
that
it.
step back. You
Yeah.
really, I mean, look at what we thought was cool 10 years ago. I mean, really.
It's not cool anymore.
It's not, and
I
I'm not
redid
doing
all that was 10 years ago.
But
So.
it's important at the moment, and you're living in it in the moment, and I understand that at the moment it's important to you. It might not be important to, you know, like our parents sometimes look back. My mom says, you know, Allie, just take your time. This is the best time of your life. Your children are little. Enjoy them. Love your home. Live in your home with your family instead of being like, oh my goodness, I can't believe that trim wasn't correct or this or that, you know. So it really is, in the big scheme of
Yeah.
things, it's a home, and as long as your family's all together and you're happy, then
Yeah.
that's probably the major goal.
I
Yeah, part of-
100% agree.
Part of it's what we talked about last week. You learn to live differently in a home. Like once you
Yes.
move in, then you live differently. So on the surface, you've never lived there. So you feel like, oh, we need to do this and this
Yeah.
and this. But then you get in there and like you said, you realize maybe that's not as important as we thought it was or things like that.
Or you
Yeah.
move things different places. You just live a little bit differently.
Yeah.
You know, you put your clothes in your kid's closet instead of your own because you made your closet too small. Maybe someone
Who would
did
do
that.
that? Who would do that? I
Maybe someone did that. And now their 8-year-old orders you out of their room when you want to get a t-shirt.
don't- oh,
Anyway, that'll be. I won't even
that's a
care
whole-
about that in 3 years. So whatever. When he's a teenager.
that's a whole
That's
nother
funny.
episode.
Yeah, that
sorry.
is a whole nother. Just went off the.
Sorry, it was hot button for a second.
No, that was. I tell you what else is a hot button. Is helping someone move after they just finished their wood floors.
Mm.
And watching
And
every
watching-
move.
Hire a professional
Yeah.
with insurance.
Very important. Hire a professional mover.
Hashtag professional mover.
Yes.
Yes.
I was very lucky to have a lot of help during our move, and I fought on getting a professional mover. And there's definitely some nice scratches at the top of my stairs.
You'll think of us.
Character.
It builds character, but you know what's so funny? I was like sweating that day. Everybody's moving in. We just finished the floors. I mean, like 3 days ago, just finished them. And you know what's just nice and new, and you're just like,
I know.
just let me live
Yeah.
in here for just like a little bit before a scratch comes on the floor. Well, I come back from getting another load at the house, and I come back, and there is a massive scratch at the top of the stairs.
It's a tough
And
moment.
I, like, the anxiety of, like, oh my God, what just happened while I was gone? But now I don't even pay attention to it.
Yeah.
It's like in the moment that was like the serious thing of the day, but now like you said, it adds character. There's other scratches now, and it's okay.
Yeah.
Like
And that's
life
not
goes
the way
on.
we live. We don't
No.
live that way. I mean, maybe some people do live that way where everything is just perfection and clean all the time, but in the point of our lives that we're at right now with kids and insanity and craziness and jobs, you're going to get a scratch on your
Yeah.
floor. So get a little kit that, stains it or fills it in with wax, or you've replaced
Just
that
cover it
one
with a
board.
rug.
Or-
I mean-
Yeah, just throw a rug over.
just blindfold yourself when you walk past that, whatever,
Yeah,
Make
but
it work.
I mean, little things like that you think is such a big deal. It's definitely not. It rolls off of
We
you.
shall live.
Yes,
through it. Yeah.
yes, we
Oh.
will live.
What do you miss most, or what will you miss most about your house?
About my
The
old
old
house,
Your old one.
my pool.
The pool.
I know, man.
Me
The
too.
pool.
I miss that pool.
I was thinking about, like, you think about all the times we had, because when you moved there, you didn't have any kids. So we didn't have any kids either, remember? And it was like
Well, we
Autumn
had,
and Cole's
They would.
first birthday.
Yeah, They were 6 months old when we moved into
Oh,
that
were they?
house. Yeah,
Okay,
It
yeah.
was like right. I mean, it's pretty
all
much
right,
like
yeah.
practically
It's a
we didn't
blur.
have any. And so I mean, we've had every birthday party there. We've had pool parties, get-togethers. Like it's been great for summers, and the girls I think would truly miss it. But we're gonna join a pool this year,
They are.
and Abington Pool.
AbingtonPool.com.
And they have a lot of kids there, and I think honestly for us, we loved it for the get-togethers, but day-to-day using it, they're just so little. Like, you have to go out there, and let's just be honest, like, lifestyle of parents, we just don't have the time to like go out there and watch them all the time. So we didn't get to use it during the week that much, but on the weekends we enjoyed it. But now that we're going to join Abington, and they can just play with all the other kids and, have a great time, and they have like a snack bar and all that kind of stuff. So I think,
The snack bar
New
threw
diving
you over?
board?
Huh?
Is that what it was? The snack bar threw you over?
yeah,
Like, that's
that
why you
was
had to
that was
join?
the sealing that sealed the deal.
I mean, that'll do it for me. But again, we go back to things that were important and now they're not important. You know, that big
I mean,
deal.
that was like when we first saw our starter home. The guy that told me about it, we knew him, and he says, "Oh yeah, it has a pool." I said, "Sold." I was like, "I don't even need to look at the house. We're good. We're golden." But we went to look at it, and it was great. But that was at that moment that was really important to me. Now it's like, I'm okay.
Yeah, but the girls might want to be on swim team or they want to be with their friends. I feel like at the age our kids are at
Yeah.
now, a community pool is so great. Maybe maybe when they're teenagers, you're going to want to know where everybody is, so a pool will be good again. But for these next 10 to 12 years, like you're really going to.
And I'm sure Rob would
appreciate
really
that.
like not cleaning the pool every Friday night.
man. Yeah.
So, I mean,
I
it
don't
was
wanna do
definitely a lot of maintenance and things like that. But we'll miss it. Like, it was a great feature to the house. And the girls, that was one of the saddest things. Autumn was like, what about a pool? I said, oh, but we're going to be fine. We're going to have a pool to go to. So, but anyways, I think that was probably like the biggest thing.
Yeah, it balances out though, because like you said, now where you're at, like the neighborhoods you're in.
Yeah, but then now it's like they can go outside and play in that cul-de-sac because we're right off one that they didn't have before. They didn't have that freedom of just kind of taking their scooter or their little car and, driving around and having like friends to play with. So I think to me that's more important in these years growing up than being in a pool every once in a while. It definitely outweighs it.
Well, yeah, I think that's just, at the end of the day, it's just a different stage in life. Right, and you needing more space and needing some more things, and I'm really glad to see that it worked out. I know Allie and I, we really enjoyed helping you through the process, and more importantly, we thank you for letting us document it because it really showed a real life aspect of what it's like to go through. I mean, we all see those shows on TV and people redo it. It's like this massive house for like $10,000. There's no problems, and it's never the case. But it allowed us to document like how you went through it from sort of start to finish, and hopefully that'll be valuable for some other people. So we definitely appreciate that.
No, thank y'all for documenting it. I think I really hope that people get some value out of it and understand that it is a process and you just take your time at it and make sure you know what contractors you get too, because I think that's important too, to make sure that their name speaks for what their work is, and make sure that you get a couple quotes and just kind of have that going into it. But I hope everybody does get something out of it. But thank y'all for helping us find our home. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We're glad you're happy. And to watch the full episodes, make sure you check out our Facebook page or YouTube. If there's ever anything that Allie and I can do, our team can do to help you with any real estate needs, please feel free to reach out to us, and we'll see you next time.